Hello again. Got another UK friendly carry pocket knife. Now I'm probably going to say the name wrong. Otter, I think it's pronounced Mercator, I'm not sure. Here's the name on the back of the blade anyway, on the back of the handle. As you can see here, it's made in Germany, I'm pretty sure Solgen. Let me just check the blade. Yep, Solgen, Germany, which is nice. Now this is my first German made knife. I say that because the Germans have quite the reputation for their steel from Solgen. A bit like how Sheffield used to have their reputation. I mean, Sheffield actually still does have a reputation, but I think that's kind of slowly going downhill. I don't think the Sheffield stuff is as good as it was. But this is a German made knife, so let's focus on that. So to begin with, I will say I bought this off Heine Haynes. I buy most of my knives off Heine just because I like Heine. I think they do a good service. 2-day shipping's pretty good, I think. For 55 quid. Now, there's a few different versions of this knife, this being the brass one. There's also copper. And both the brass and the copper version of this knife also come in a larger model, which does have a locking blade, which is a back lock. Obviously, I went for this one because I want to carry the thing. Again, the cutting edge is less than 3 inches, and the mechanism is a slip joint. Kind of an unusual slip joint, actually. Usually with slip joints, it's got a spring right along here. This is just one folded piece of metal. Kind of like the Higo Nakami. We'll get to that in a minute. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see in there. You can see the steel in amongst the brass there. That's actually the spring for the slip joint mechanism, and it's obviously held together with this one rivet right here above the Otter logo, which is actually pretty nice looking. So on that note, 3-pin construction with a bail. I absolutely do love a knife with a bail. I don't know why, because I never actually used the bail, but I like to have a knife with a bail on it, so there you go. It's got a sort of almost dagger type trench knife feel to it, I would say. It is pretty small in the hand. I mean, you can see that it is actually pretty thin. It is a fairly small, I would almost say a gentleman's knife. I mean, I think these are actually designed as work knives. Now, as far as I've gathered, these knives, it's an old design. I think they've been making this style of knife in Solingen, Germany for over 100 years, which is pretty cool, I think. It's always nice to see knife patterns and knife designs lasting that long. I said that it's pretty similar to a Higo Nakami folder. If I can just get enough room here to have the whole thing, what I'll have to do. So here's the Higo Nakami folder, which is a Japanese friction folder. So that's the major difference there, is the Otter is a slip joint, whereas the Higo Nakami is a friction folder. Now, I thought I should compare these two specifically because, you know, if you're looking at this style of knife, you're probably looking at both of these knives and the French Duk Duk. I don't have a Duk Duk, that is on the radar. And the three of the knives have varying prices. Like I said, the Otter is around 55 quid. Higo Nakamis are less than 20 quid, so they're by far the cheapest. I'm pretty sure I paid about 17, probably 16 quid for this one, which is the steel version. That doesn't matter right now. But we'll just close them both up so you can see a comparison between the two of them again. So they're very similar. Again, steel, brass, just folded metal. Now, I do have a few complaints about this knife, which we'll talk about right now. So, to me, the biggest problem with this knife is if we have a look here, I assume that back piece there is steel, the black piece. Now, why is that an issue? Now, this isn't going to focus, so this is going to be hard to show you. Well, watch and listen to this. What's the problem there? Well, actually, one of the first things I noticed when I started to test this knife, you know, seeing if it's sharp or not, which it is, from about here to the choil, it is fairly sharp. In fact, I think they've actually stropped it in factory, which is great. I mean, it came hair shaving sharp. I could shave hair off my arms with it, so that's a definite thumbs up. That's always a good thing. And the blade is very nicely ground and nicely shaped, very professional looking, I would say. However, from the point here, the belly, to the tip, it is very dull. Now, it is still mirror polished or semi mirror polished, but because of that black piece at the back I was speaking of earlier, that the blade's actually closing on it, and there's actually, I can see it here, but you probably won't be able to pick it up in the camera because it's kind of darkish here. Probably should be more prepared. But in here, I can actually see a line where the edge of the knife is actually hitting off it, so that's dulling it, which that is definitely not good. And you would think with it being a 100-year-old design, you would hope they would I've fixed that right now. By the way, it opens with a nail nick. Is it worth 50 quid or 55 quid? That's debatable. I don't know. Would I buy this again? It's a very nice looking knife, it really is. It's extremely lightweight. I'm not really sure much what you could do with it. I would say this is a very general purpose sort of EDC knife that's in the pocket and it won't get in the way too much. In fact, you could probably even throw this on your keys and be okay with that. I like the look of it, so I wouldn't really want to put it on a key ring or with my keys or in a change pocket. It is okay for slicing fruit. I've already done that before. Whittling, not so much. In fact, on that note, the back spring really, well, can you call it a back spring? The spring isn't too great. I mean, you could listen and you can actually see here, there's really next to no snap at all. I mean, I feel next to nothing when it comes to the snap, and you definitely can't hear it. When it closes, that's not really a snap, that's it. That's the tip hitting off that piece of metal. By snap, I mean snap, same as what you hear on a Swiss Army knife. That's what it should sound like. I'm not sure if it's just this design of knife or what. Probably is. In fact, since I've got the Swiss Army knife out, let's quickly compare it to the Swiss Army knife, the Victorinox Huntsman. So fairly similar blade shapes, I would say. Of course, they're both spear points. The Otter knife has a slightly longer, though thinner blade. They're both extremely nice. The thing is, though, you can get that Victorinox Huntsman for around 30 to £35. In fact, Amazon has the standard red version for 25. This Otter knife is 55. So pick your, take your pick. But back to the question: would I buy it again? I would say so, actually, to be fair, because it is a really nice looking knife, and I'm playing around with the idea of getting the copper version if I see it around. So, I would. That's a tough one because it is a really well made knife. I don't see it falling apart. I don't see it coming loose. It feels fairly tight. The only issue really is that snap and the fact that it is hitting off the steel at the back, blunting the tip. I mean, if I was to rate it, I'd probably get it a 7 out of 10. Is it worth £55? I would say it's worth closer to 35, if I'm to be really honest. I think £35 would be a fairer price. But that said, I think these are handmade and they are really, really well made. I mean, looking at the image here, you don't really see much wrong with it. I mean, I probably would buy again. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Give me a like if you liked it. If you disliked it, go for it, hit the dislike button. And please subscribe. I'm getting near 200 subscribers, so I'm hoping I could go over 200 subscribers soon. So I'll see you later. Thanks.